Hello, everyone, and the time's finally here. We'll launch college football, and this is the episode before the Super Bowl. I'm Daniel,
And I'm Chelsea.
and yeah, this is it. This is the last game for the next 6 months of football. It all comes down to a rematch of what's it, a Super Bowl about 12 years ago. It was 2014, and yeah, hopefully this time a team does not throw the ball at the 1 yard line. But first, let's
Indeed.
talk. Yeah, but first let's talk about some of the other stuff happening in the NFL, which is officially the end of the coaching cycle at this point. The Cardinals hire Clint Kubiak, so that's they need to find themselves like an offense, not an offense, but like a legacy, not a legacy hire, but kind of a legacy hire, a big time football name, the Kubiak name. The they hired him, but he Morris becomes a new DC for San Francisco. And excuse me. And who's the why am I blanking on the last
The
team?
Titans are
That's
hiring
it.
Gus Bradley as their defensive coordinator. The Broncos all did Davis Webb to OC, which I think is really interesting. I'll be interested to see how that goes. Um, and the Ravens hired Anthony Weaver as their DC as well,
And
as
the
well as Sean McVay and Les Snead getting extended
and
for
the
the Rams.
oh yeah, and the Raiders hire LaFleur. No, the Raiders hire Kubiak and the
Kubiak.
Cardinals hire LaFleur. That's it. That's why I got confused.
Yeah. Kubiak is essentially done. I mean, he's just in the Super Bowl right now, so.
Yeah, and the Steelers could have had them. But it's fine. I'm happy. It's no, I'm not. Anyway, but nothing you can do.
It's okay. The Colts managed to hold on to Lou Amaruno, which I'm actually pretty happy about, but apparently there's a chance our OC still might get taken. So if that happens, I'll be interested to see where that goes.
Do you think he's probably the top OC coordinator left on the market at the moment? For at least future coaching hires next year.
I don't know about that. I mean, maybe. I feel like there are probably still people that have more promise. I like him. I thought he was a good OC when he had, a suitable quarterback. But I don't think he calls the plays. So it's like if you don't call the plays, it's like I know you still have a big impact, but it's a lot different when you call versus not calling the plays. So
I just noticed
I'm
this is
pretty sure Steichen calls the plays. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure he does though.
going completely off topic. I know this is a very Pennsylvania kind of wardrobe I have on. I have a Phillies winter cap and I got a Steelers throw on. Very Pennsylvania coded.
Yeah, I'm not wearing anything Indiana coded, though my shirt does say a Voldemort blew a seven Horcrux lead, which if you're a Harry Potter fan, you're probably laughing right now because I too am laughing. I saw that shirt. I was like, gotta have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, in regards to the coaching, kind of cycle, I mean, I think that the Kubiak hire for the Raiders is going to be really interesting because presumably they're going to take Mendoza at one, and they have about $90 million of cap space available for this season, give or take. As long as they don't take Alec Pierce, do what you will, be free. But yeah, no, very exciting. I think the Raiders actually have a pretty promising future. They need to address that O line though.
They need to address the fact that I think Max Crosby, I think he's kind of hinted at wanting to play for a contender. So you need to either pull a Miles Garrett and give him back up the Brinks truck for him, or try to ship him off for just as many draft picks as you can get for the next 2 years.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would if Max Crosby's on like there's some teams that if you have a Crosby type lineman. So far, the only teams that kind of hint at it, or like maybe the Bears, San Francisco. I'm seeing the Steelers for some stupid reason. Um, I don't know why you're not a Max Crosby away from competing for a title, but that's just me. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
guess it wouldn't shock me if he got traded, just knowing he wants to play for a contender. But at the same time, it would shock me because he's like peak Raiders. When you think of
yeah
Raiders players, that's who you think of.
yeah
At least in the last year or two.
he's been the face of honest Reyes for the past since he's been there. He's been because the Rays haven't
Yeah.
really had that many after Khalil Mack got traded. They really haven't had any stars to really become the face of a team. So yeah, if they lose
Right.
him, he's seems like the exact opposite person compared to Fernando Mendoza.
Yes, that will be a very interesting dichotomy of personalities.
But yeah, but guys, you didn't come here to talk about Raiders football or Steelers football or coaching hires. You're here to talk about one game and one game only, and that's the Pro Bowl. No, I'm just kidding. That's the Super. No one cares about the Super Bowl. That's the Super Bowl. That's San Francisco. I wish it was San Francisco, actually. That is Seattle and the Patriots. So,
Okay, but the first thing we got to start with the Super Bowl is what is your prediction of how much tickets are starting at
so
for
this
the
is
Super Bowl?
this is the cheapest ticket.
According to StubHub, I am looking at the ticket price. It says buy tickets Levi's Stadium, Santa Clara, California, powered by StubHub. Tickets from,
I'm going to
and then there's a
guess.
number.
I'm going to guess 2,500 is probably the cheapest.
Hmm.
Am I close? Am I right?
No, you
Okay.
you are not. It says on here on the Athletic, tickets from $5,190.
So I'm not
You were
multiply
not
my
even
answer.
halfway there.
Yeah, you gotta multiply my answer. And 5,000, that's nothing. That's
Isn't
nothing.
that
It's
crazy? Wow.
uh 5,000. Oh yeah, I could spend that and
All
I'm
right,
just
when I actually clicked on the link, there's one for 4,800. So maybe it was
oh
lying
only
on the
40 oh
Athletic.
only 4,800. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
That's just was it a month and a half with a paycheck.
Let me see. Number of tickets, one. Any price. Okay, it says for any price, the one under that is under $5,610. So I guess the Athletic was almost correct. $5,000?
To Americas. That's all I gotta say is two.
Bro, I love football. I don't know if I love football that much.
Do you five do
That
you
that would be like a once in a lifetime thing.
do you $5,000 love football?
I don't know.
Can you imagine spending that much money? Imagine the Colts go to the Super Bowl. You said I'm going to splurge a 5,000, $6,000 ticket, and the Colts lose. And you're just like, yo,
I just
what they even do this for?
like, don't get me wrong. I think that going to the Super Bowl one day would be really cool. Like I said, I think that's like a once in a lifetime type thing, especially when it comes to current prices with inflation of and things of that nature. Now it'd be something like if a company, like if my company was like, "Hey, we're gonna take you to the Super Bowl." Like that would be awesome. But I don't know if I'd be willing to shell out $5,000 to go to the Super Bowl by myself. That's crazy.
Like you go half with someone, and like you get the first half. I'll come in during the halftime show
I'll
whenever
stand
the
in the
strap is.
concourse. I'm sure that's not illegal, right? Splitting a seat.
To America, so all I gotta say is two the halves and the halves.
That's crazy, dude. I love football. I don't think I love football that much.
But like I say, I do think this is gonna be a big time game. I do think these are Seattle proving themselves. Them those matchups with the Rams, they prove themselves. They're the best team in the NFC. And New England, despite all the claims that they have a weak schedule, they all have paper soft schedule. They are, I'll say this. They had a weak schedule. There have been other teams who have historically made a Super Bowl, like the 99 Rams, the Perfect Dolphins, who've won Super Bowls with weak schedules statistically, just as weak, if not weaker than the Patriots. And yes, Judge Stidham was playing as the quarterback in the AFC Championship game. I get it. The Broncos were not at full strength. I think that would be a more even matchup with Bo Nix versus Drake May. The Chargers game and the Houston game, those are hard. Those are competitive games. Those were teams that were relatively healthy, teams that somewhat complete teams. The Patriots defense just destroyed both those teams. I know Drake May hasn't played the best, and that's potentially because of an injury. With they said first I heard it was knee, now I'm hearing shoulder. So maybe their
Oh,
luck.
I hadn't heard that.
So maybe their luck has run out. But that defense stepped up big time against. They made Justin Herbert look like he didn't belong on the football field, and they were CJ Stroud was almost like I thought he was going to get benched after halftime. He was throwing the ball so many interceptions and playing so bad. So I will give credit to the Patriots defense. This reminds me a lot of their first Super Bowl run in '01, where the offense basically is just don't screw up, let the defense handle all the work.
Okay, so I will go halfway for that argument of the Patriots had the easiest path to the Super Bowl. I don't know if I believe that necessarily. Now, when it comes to the Patriots playing defenses, it was definitely not easy. Like the Texans defense, in my opinion, was the second best defense. The Chargers defense was no slouch, probably top 10. I mean, obviously Buffalo or the Broncos defense is top 2.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing Seattle, which in my opinion is the best defense in football. So when it comes to the Patriots playing opposing defenses, I disagree with the argument that they had the easiest path. Now, when it comes to the offenses that they were facing, I have a little bit more empathy for that argument because you've talked about how Justin Herbert looks horrible in the playoffs. I mean, they basically have no offensive weapons outside of Lad McConkey. And Gadsden is okay if he can put it together. I mean, CJ Stroud threw 4 or 5 interceptions. How many playoff games are you going to have when that's going to happen? Not many. I mean, the Broncos were playing a backup quarterback. I just they were not playing the strongest offenses. However, the defenses were legit. I mean, no one's going to argue that. But the thing about Seattle is that not only, in my opinion, is their defense the best in football, their offense also has probably the best offensive player in football outside of the quarterback position. So this is going to be the toughest offense that they've played considering the fact Jarrett Stidham started. If Bo Nix had started, they probably would have been close. But this is like the first time in the playoffs they're really facing off against a prolific offense. I mean, think about the Texans game. They didn't have Nico Collins for that game, and that was still a tough game. I mean, Justin Herbert had Lad McConkey, but you know, he has some busts on offense. His O line was completely tattered. Both of his tackles are out. I
Yeah.
mean, against the Broncos, you have Cortland Sutton dropping like every fourth pass when he's like, able to catch the ball. Your number two there is what, like Troy Franklin? I just, I think there's an argument to be made when it comes to the offenses that they have played against that they have outscored. But the defenses, no. The defenses were legit. It's not like they've really played a prolific offense in the playoffs. This is going to be the first prolific offense they're going to play. I mean, the Seahawks put up what? 40 in the first half like 5 weeks ago? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, the Seahawks, they've scored 31 and 41 in their two playoff games.
Precisely my point.
I'll go through just like the both their schedules. Seahawks went 14-3 in the regular season. Their three losses was week one against San Francisco. They lost against Tampa. I think that was the peak of Tampa Bay, 38-35. I remember Tampa won on a last second field goal. And they lost one of the two games, regular season games against the Rams. So they lost against basically three playoff teams. Because I think the Buccaneers at that point were one of the best teams in football. And then everything
Yeah,
just broke down.
I agree.
Patriots, they also won 14-3, but their losses was a little weirder because they lost week one against the Raiders. I don't
It is
remember.
week one, though. I mean, I'll give, if a good team loses to a bad team week one, I kind of have some sympathy for
Then they,
that, I
then,
guess.
then they lost week three against Pittsburgh. That was a game when Pittsburgh won a turnover battle like 5-0. That might have been their worst, the Patriots' worst game of the season, honestly. And then they lost the Buffalo game when they had the lead and Buffalo just came back and took it in the snowstorm. And that, well, not snowstorm, but in the cold weather game in Foxborough. And their three wins in the playoffs have been to, yeah, 16-3 against the Chargers, 28-16 against Houston, and 10-7. So I think if you combine the scores, I think the Seattle's two games still is more than the Patriots' three games. Um, Yeah, I still think in terms of, I feel like this is an even matchup. I know a lot of people think Seattle's so much better, but I do think I'm getting Vrabel with 2 weeks, 2 weeks, to prepare. I think Vrabel has, out of every newer coach in the past 7, 8 years, like this decade, Vrabel has very much proven himself to be equal to all the elite coaches that have come out in recent years, like the McVays, the Shanahans. I think you have to put Vrabel at this point up with them. What he did with
Vrabel's
Tennessee,
a really good
what
coach.
he did with Tennessee, and then what he's doing here in New England a year after they were in the cellar is something
It's
that
impressive.
is you can't just ignore that. He is easily probably he's now one of the top coaches, one of the five best
I'll
coaches
agree
in
with that.
football. And of course, Seattle with Mike McDonald. Um, yeah, is that Seattle looks like they look like a super team, honestly. They look like almost like an all-star team because I think we talked about this off the mic that we talked about this last episode. I figured JSN was gonna be good. We didn't think JSN would be this good. We didn't think him and Puka would be battling for the best receiver in football at this point. I saw
And that
Sam,
Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson would not be in the top two. I don't think anyone saw that coming.
well, in Jefferson's defense, there's nothing you can do with nine as a quarterback.
That's fair.
He's like, I'm trying, I'm sorry.
He's like, I can only catch passes if they actually come towards me.
I can't catch passes 4 yards in the dirt at my feet.
Right.
Um, but I do think Seattle has, and Cup has come on strong in this postseason as well. I think that
And they
defense,
have Shaheed, who's their
I completely,
secret weapon on special
he has
teams.
been getting better and better week after week since he got traded. He basically ended the game against San Francisco in the first
Before it
10
even
seconds.
started.
Just it was over. He just that was one that might have been one of the, I wish I was in Seattle when that return happened because
Yeah, I'm sure that was just electric, dude.
that might have been the loudest it's probably been in years. So
That was awesome.
yeah, so I do think this is an even matchup because I do think both these teams. I think New England's kind of getting a bad rap because of the fact that they had a quote unquote easy schedule. So people think New England's just go like Seattle just go trounce them. I don't see that happening. I don't see unless May's injury is worse than what they're letting on. I don't see this being a 2-3 score game.
See, I don't know. I might be one of those people that's overreacting. I just don't think the Patriots offense can keep up. I
From yeah.
I just I think that the weapons that Seattle has are just so much better. Now, if you get the bad version of Sam Darnold, okay, that's a game. But if Sam Darnold goes out there and throws for 250 yards and two touchdowns and doesn't turn the ball over, I mean, the Patriots have Christian Gonzalez, right, at corner,
Yeah.
who's probably the best defensive player on the football field,
That's
right?
going to be the
So,
best matchup.
yes, so
Gonzalez versus JSN.
he's going to get put on JSN. Now, JSN is good enough to still beat him, but that's going to be a tough matchup. I mean,
Yeah.
Christian Gonzalez is no slouch. He's really good. It's probably going to come down to the other facets of that offense, assuming Christian Gonzalez does his job more or less. It's going to come down to Cooper Kupp. It's going to come down to Raheed Shaheed. It's going to come down to their tight ends. It's going to come down to Kenneth Walker having a big game. Um, but man, I'll tell you what, they moved JSN like over the field, I believe. Like he'll line up at different positions and stuff. I just I don't think you can shut JSN down for a whole game. I just don't see it happening. I think eventually, if he takes a while to have a big play, that he's gonna have a big play. I mean, he's arguably the best receiver in football for a reason. If you compare the positional like value outside of quarterback team to team, especially receiver, I just don't think it's close.
I
Now, I think
think
tight end, you can make an argument.
yeah.
Running back, considering Charbonnet is out, you can make an argument. I do think Kenneth Walker is still the best running back, but you have Stevenson and you have Henderson, who are both really good.
Yeah.
So that kind of evens it out that Charbonnet is out. I mean, I don't know about you. I'm taking JSN over Stephon Diggs 10 times out of 10. I mean, Boot is pretty good. Boot is underrated, but Cooper Kupp is an ex Triple Crown winner playing for a Super Bowl. He's made for the big moment. And then you have Shaheed, who can come out of left field and take a ball 96 yards. I don't even know who the Patriots wide receiver three is.
It might be
Am I just like a casual?
no,
Like,
no,
I don't even.
I believe it's Mac Hollins. Because I
Yeah.
think one is Diggs, two is
Boot.
Boots, and then Hollins is number three. And he's no slouch. He's kind of
No, he's
crazy.
not a slouch,
He's
but he's
crazy, but
not
he's
Shaheed.
no, he's not. No, if we're going based on weapons, yes, Seattle to me wins in the weapons battle. But I think there's one thing we have to remember. Sam Darnold led the league in turnovers this year. He had 20 total turnovers. New England can force turnovers. They've done so. They did so against Stroud. They didn't let Stem get comfortable. Stem had like the terrible. No, it was more Stem's fault. But and Darnold still can have a game where he looks like Sam Darnold. I'm seeing ghosts right now. I do trust Sam Darnold. That doesn't mean I trust him the same way I trust like a Stafford or someone I trust like a Burrow, which is if Stafford and Burrow has like a four interception game, I'm like, what the heck's happened? What the heck was that? If Darnold has a four interception game, like, okay, that's not surprising. I'm surprised. I'm like, it's bad that it happened, but I'm not surprised that happened. So I'm not gonna say Don's gonna come out there looking like an MVP or look like a bum, but if he shows out like an MVP or he shows out like a bum, I'm like, yeah, I can see both those things happening.
I guess my other thing is that I think that I know that okay, so here I've seen different arguments on this. So in the Texan or in the Broncos game, everyone was like, "Oh, they played in bad weather. Oh, they played in bad weather." Might we keep in mind that the bad weather didn't really start until the end of the third quarter?
Yeah,
Okay, Drake May was playing against this defense. Was it cold? Yes, but it was not blizzarding for three-fourths of this game.
it was not North Carolina this past weekend.
Right. Drake May had a terrible game against that
Yeah,
defense, even before the weather started. Outside of his running ability, his passing was awful. I think Seattle's defense is even better than the Broncos.
I
And
will.
they're going to be playing at a neutral site in warm weather. I mean, I know that obviously gives, Drake May more of, a foot up because,
Yeah,
he's not playing in a snowstorm. But just based on how he played against arguably the best defense in football, considering that I think that Seattle is also up there for the best defense in football, I don't know, man. I'm just
I'll say May has gone to a gauntlet at least defensively because yeah, I think you're right in terms of offensively. The Patriots have not faced the best offenses in the playoffs. They face
the
probably
defenses were legit
like
though.
the seven best defense. Like, okay, Chargers, okay, that's a great defense. Okay, Texans and Broncos. I think those two are
Top three.
like the three best defense. He's about to play the three best defense back to back to back. So
I agree.
I'll give May some credit that like it's not like he's playing bad against slouches. He's struggling throwing the football against the teams that you would struggle throwing the football against. The biggest question to me comes down to is can how much will Sam Darnold do against, or that Seattle offense is going to do against New England's defense? Because I think New England can put up some points, but I don't think New England is going to put up like a shootout. I don't think they've proven themselves able to do it at the moment. If they get to 21 points, I'll be like, that's about as much as I expect them to get.
So I
So
will say for Sam Darnold in the playoffs, I'm not talking about his regular season because I know he definitely had, that four turnover game. That was bad. He definitely had the most turnovers, like of any quarterback that has made it this far,
yeah.
in the past couple of weeks. In the playoffs, he's been 470 passing yards, four touchdowns, no picks.
Okay, but one game
He
was in
play
San
he
Francisco.
played yes, but he played the Rams, who also have a top defense.
The Rams have been struggling defensively like the past month and a half, though.
I mean, I guess that's
They're
true,
good
but they're
defense.
no slouch
No, no,
though.
yeah, they're a good defense, but they're not the juggernauts that May had to deal with in the AFC.
I agree.
I think all three of those defenses are easily better than the Rams defense.
No, I agree. I just wanted to point out the fact. I know that his gauntlet has not been nearly as difficult, but everyone wants to say, "Oh, Sam Darnold, he turned the ball over so many times." Oh. Well, in the playoffs, he's not thrown an interception. Okay, so I know the competition has not been as strong. I mean, you obviously have to acknowledge that. That's an obvious caveat. But it's not like he turned the ball over three times in two games and they barely won. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's not
It,
like he's thrown any interceptions. I mean, that has to make you feel a little better. And considering that his oblique was hurt at one point and he still hasn't thrown an interception.
I still want to know how much Don's oblique is hurt, how much is
Yeah.
May's shoulder is hurt. Because I think one thing that we also a lot of people like well, I get it, people are upset like, oh, Charbonnet, why is he having so many touches? Why is he have taken a touchdown merchant, a touchdown thief? He was the best blocking running back on Seattle, and New England wants to pressure Darnold throughout the game. I won't be surprised if New England starts sending blitzes after him. Just playing Christian Gonzalez on island with JSN, whatever happens, happens, and saying basically, we're gonna send the house, and you better find a second or third receiver. And
That's
that's
true.
and that's I think will be the biggest difference in the game of
Yeah.
well, I don't think JSN. I think if Seattle wins, it's not going to be because JSN had broke out and had a big game. It's going to be because the tight end, Cup has a big game. The tight ends have a good game. Shaheed goes off, has like an 80-yard touchdown.
Or
Maybe
special teams return.
or yeah, something like that. Or K9 does something. New England is going to try to blitz Darnold and put JSN on the island with Christian Gonzalez. And I think Gonzalez, at least size wise, he's a little bigger than JSN. So that's going to be. I just want to watch that matchup. That's to me, that's gonna be the best matchup of
I
the
agree.
week. Do you think New England's skilled position? How do you think that will fare against Seattle's defense?
I mean, Seattle has some pretty good defenders too. I mean, I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but their corner from Illinois, he's pretty good. He's probably the second best defensive player on the field. They're going to put him on Diggs. I don't know about you. I trust Cup and Shaheed to win their matchups more than I trust Boot and Matt Collins. That's
Okay,
just me.
so I guess the only thing we can talk about at this point is who we got. I think technically I'm up one to you in the playoffs right now. So the best you can do is tie. Unless I just be a jerk and just pick whatever team you pick. Take the win. Okay. So, what's your final score and a team and who you have winning?
I have Seattle winning the game. I think Seattle wins 24-17
24-7. Okay. So somewhat low scoring. And I think I
because
oh,
both really good defenses. So I don't think it's going to be like 38-37.
I'm gonna pat myself on the back because I win. Because I'm gonna pick Seattle 23 to 20. I was gonna pick Seattle anyway. I
So
do
you're
think
still picking Seattle, even though you don't think that you think it'll be a
no,
close game, but
yeah,
you're still giving Seattle the edge.
yeah, it's gonna be a close game. I was trying to talk myself into picking New England honestly throughout the podcast, but I do think Seattle I do think both. I do think it's a close game. I do think at the end of the day, if New England wins, it wouldn't be surprising. But I do think Seattle will be able to do more on offense than New England will be able to do. I do like the skill position of Seattle a little more than the skill position of New England against each other's respective defenses. And I think a big thing will come down to is I do think Shaheed's going to have a who's the who's the receiver from the Chiefs Eagles first Super Bowl that had the big punt return. The one who used to play for the Giants. They got drafted by the
Oh
Giants.
gosh. You put me on the spot. I
I put
can't think
myself
of
on the
it.
spot because I was trying to think of the name too. And
Oh gosh.
7 seconds, I'm gonna look it up.
On the Giants? Oh gosh.
He got drafted by the Giants. The Giants ended up trading him to the.
Was it DeMarcus?
It was not DeMarcus. No, no, DeMarcus Lawrence. It was drumroll, please. It was yeah. There is Kadarius Tony. That why I couldn't remember his name.
Right. Yes.
I
Brick
knew it.
hands.
I knew it started with a K. I just couldn't remember it. But it was Tony because he was the one that just he kind of a knucklehead, but he did have the two really big plays in the Super Bowl. And I do think Shaheed's going to have a role like that. As he's not going to be used often, but he will make a big one or two plays on special teams or even get like a pass interference on a deep ball because they just have to grab him and hold him down. I,
Right.
th I do think Shaheed's the X factor in this game.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll agree with that. I mean, I think when it comes to the Patriots side of the ball, especially on offense, I mean, if they can get someone like Travion Henderson going in this game,
Oh, yeah, that'd be crazy.
that might put him over the top, honestly. Because he's so explosive. If they can kind of beat down the defenders a little bit with Stevenson and then throw Henderson in there and see what he can do, that might be able to turn the tides for them.
All I know is it's gonna be the end of the game. Seattle's gonna get the ball at the 5 yard line. It's gonna be 20-20, and and they're gonna put in a play call, and they're gonna say, "Sam, we're gonna have you throw the football to JSN in the back of the end zone." And Donald's gonna say, "You know what, Coach? I'm gonna take this one for a team, and I'm just gonna knee it out and let the kicker just make the field goal. We just have to win by 3. You don't have to win by 7." That's gonna be my
Yeah,
head
let's
canon.
let's not relive that trauma all over again.
Oh man, this is gonna be the end of the season. This is it. Next time you see us, folks, it will be officially the end of the football season. So it's been a great year. Hopefully this game's gonna be awesome. Enjoy the commercials, the national anthem, the halftime show. Enjoy all that jazz, and let's enjoy some good football. Chelsea, tell us where they can find us to hear us more.
All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Tune back in next week for our recap of the Super Bowl. In the meantime, follow us on our social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at Launch Codes Football, on X at Launch Codes FB. And if you are interested in joining our chat BCC group, definitely hit us up via text or in our DMs on one of our other socials, and we can get you that link. I'm sure we'll be chatting it up in there during the Super Bowl. In the meantime, I'm Chelsea,
I'm Daniel,
and we will see you next week.
and Seattle. Do not throw that football on the 1 yard line.
He's been saying that for like 2 weeks now.
I've been saying that because I need to have it hammered in their head. And you know what? I'm not even talking about at the end of the game. Even if you're on the 1 yard line in like the second quarter, just do a tush push.
Has to be, can't be that hard, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Adios.
See ya.